I think I messed up. And by that, I mean I didn't watch the Spit or Swallow Beer review yet. Welcome to the Spit or Swallow Beer review with Shagdog and Jammer. These guys are the dynamic duo of hops and barley, here to make your beer nights epic. If you love beer and laugh out loud fun, hit that subscribe button. Like, comment and share if you've ever spilled a pint. So grab a cold one, call your friends, and remember, life's too short to drink alone. Cheers.
Hey, welcome. We're doing a Pints and Ponderings episode, or a drinking and thinking type thing. I'm Jammer. I'm by myself. You know, what can I say? Jammer fan escaped. Shagdog needed to go. I felt like doing at least one more. So this will be my 7th land shark. And the trail magic. Anyway, nothing really to talk about. A lot of stuff, I guess, is going on out there. Crazy thought. I had something. You ever have a opportunity to come up with something really crazy, something really exciting, and then have it just escape? You know, just completely leave your mind. I had this really deep thought, and it was something that's going to be so funny and also offensive at the same time to Native Americans. And though I thought it was funny, I was also fully aware and kind of like, I don't want to offend Native Americans, but this thought came into mind, and I really wanted to share it because it was so damn funny. I mean, get away from the offensiveness of it and all that stuff. It was just humorous, and I wanted to share it. And then had it escape, you know, just kind of like left my head completely. It's terrible when that happens, and I know that it can happen for people who are going to, you know, get dementia or Alzheimer's and all that stuff. But I was just thinking that a lot of people have that happen to them, and I thought I'd share and ask, has there been a time where you thought of something that just completely escaped your mind before you could get it out? Because that's what happened today to me. Man, nothing really exciting to share. I mean, Loretta Swit died. Just another person on a TV show that I grew up with, MASH. She was Hot Lips Houlihan. Of course, Cheers with George Wendt. He passed away not too long ago. Man, you talk about things. I mean, George Wendt, of all people, you know, he was a likable fella, you know, and when you give him a character like Norm and have him, you know, portray it, it just makes him more likable, you know. It's just crazy. Oh, but anyway. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. So, you know, I took a trip to London, Paris, and Rome. Kind of exciting in a lot of ways. I was very entertained by the places we went to and everything. It was really interesting. I went to opening night for the golly, what was that called? God, not the Oz, Wiz, not Wiz. What was it called? Golly, Wicked. I was in London. Went to opening night in London to Wicked, and ended up actually really enjoying the play. You know, they did a good version of it. Would I have enjoyed it more so if it was something I was interested in? Yeah. But overall, it was very enjoyable. I thought it was really creative the way they presented it. The acting was very good, and I was really impressed with it. That format, it has, in some ways, I can see why it excites an actor, because you're getting instantaneous feedback from the audience and so forth. And then, if I was acting something and felt like the crowd was loving it, man, it is something. You get that feedback. I kind of equate it to whenever I've been karaokeing. Like when I was in Canada and I was doing international karaoke. And even here in Florida and so forth. When you get the feedback from the audience enjoying it, I see why a lot of people who are into being in the plays and also not only that, but just singers wanting to continue singing and touring and so forth. I could see why they really, really enjoy it. They feed off the audience. The audience enjoying it and so forth really makes you feel excited, I heard there was something. What was it? Jammer fan might join me. Yeah, so we'll see. Let me write this. Yeah, hopefully he'll join. And I tell you, it's something to enjoy. Like I said, I went to London, Paris, Rome, and it's just every time I ever go on these trips, I just think to myself, it's just so amazing. First of all, that we can start off the morning, say here in Florida, Tampa, Florida. I started off the morning and ended up being in London so many hours later. It's just exciting. And then to think that, yes, here I am in London after, all this time and going and doing things, going to the London Eye, Windsor Castle, Big Ben, all these different places, it's just, I just feel as though people should travel more. People should get out and see the world, make memories with your family and friends, and really enjoy it. Because I can tell you right now, all the material goods that you buy and have and everything, it don't mean a thing. It's the memories of family and friends. And so now I got lawn care people out there. We'll see. The other thing, what I was going to say. There was something else I was going to say. What was it? Let me see if I can't find it here. Because I made a list. Hold on. When I was in Paris, all right, let me put it this way. When I was in Rome, I'm not Rome, sorry. When I went to England, they experienced the highest temperatures that they had in a long time. And it was crazy. It was in the 80-something degrees category. And so everybody was out and about enjoying just having 80-something degree weather. And it was very interesting because, everywhere we went, it was kind of crowded and people were out and about. So it was very exciting. And then when I went to Paris, they experienced hail for the first time in a long time. I was on a walk and I was going to a certain location and everything. And all of a sudden it started raining and I decided to head back to the hotel. And next thing you know, hail. Dime-sized to a quarter-sized hail started hitting the ground. It was crazy. and they said that was the first time they had hell in a long time. And then, of course, I was over there during the time period that the Pope died, and when he was actually selected. So it was really kind of crazy in Rome and so forth. I didn't get too far off the beaten path, which makes me kind of disappointed because I really wanted an experience, especially in Italy. The food more so than what I did. But overall, the food was very delicious and everything. But I think it would have been even better if I kind of got further off the beaten path, But we'll see in the next time, right? I think I'm going to start, doing some reviews or doing some stuff when I'm out and about. We'll see. But man, it's I went where my sister-in-law turned around and bought like a $40 box. And what I mean by box, right? $40. A small little box. It's about that big, right? That big of chocolate. I mean, we went to this upscale chocolate store. Man, they gave out free samples, and I tasted the chocolate. And man, was it delicious! But I mean, it was fuck. It was expensive, Hold on, I'm getting a message here. I'm back. All right. Well, join me, man. Did you get the link? I sent you the link. Let me hold on. I'll give you the link again. Hopefully you can join me. Yeah. Very exciting. Jammer fan is joining. Hey, Bubba.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, you sound so down.
No, I'm not down. I actually am gonna go grab a real beer. I wanted to log on so that because you and Shag Dog are always like, oh, Jammer fans disappeared. Said he was gonna come on. Just give me a sec to go grab a beer. I just wanted to log on immediately. I just had to see my friend out. My friend basically said on my fridge that I had the digital thermometer in there, and he said because I can manually adjust. I have a digital panel on the front of the fridge. It's new enough I can. So basically, I'm just gonna. He's like, you just might have to just check the temp and just kind of manually adjust it every once in a while. It could depend on the temp in the house and stuff like that too. I may try your option as well, but right now this way's free. I just gonna kind of monitor.
Well, like I told you before, that option may cause an issue when you're trying to look at the freezer staying freezing and the fridge being because you've got two separate temperatures.
Yeah, and there's two different compressors or whatever. So I just might have to they say keep your fridge 34 to 38. He's like you may have to turn it up to 39 or 40, but it's really gonna be 36 or 37 because he's like your thermometer's 2 degrees off somehow. It could just be that it's older or whatever. Let me go grab a beer, dude, because it's bitter swallow beer.
All right. So. Sounds good. I'm here. Yeah. Man, I just cleared that out, and I didn't realize what that meant, clearing it out. Oh, well. He had some issues with his fridge, and it becomes an issue, in general. But, all right, let's have one more. What the hell? Let's do 8. Let's round it out with an even number, right? All right, 8. All right, so anyway, not much to tell you. But he had an issue with his fridge, and it happens because I've had an issue with my fridge, and and then they told you have to move the stuff and allow airflow. You got to allow the airflow, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, thanks, man. I'm grabbing a bottle opener right now. Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
Shag
kind of
Dog thought
hard.
you were offended by the fact that I was laughing so much, and I couldn't help
I
it because I
wasn't.
had a
I'm
laugh
good.
attack, man.
No, it was funny. It was hilarious. I'm all good.
Yeah, he thought you were upset.
What?
Yeah.
That's dumb. Shag Dog. So I got a. This is the only other beer I got in the house. Guinness Extra Stout.
Oh,
I
that's
guess
a good one. Guinness extra stout. That is a good beer.
it's because I'm one handing it. I'm just gonna pour it straight, but slowly, but just straight into my oversized 20-ounce glass. It's probably gonna have a pretty big head, but that's okay. It'll go down. I guess that sounds gay too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, but no, you can thank Julia for that too. I texted her and I was like, "Do we have any like, I don't want to drink your wine. Do we have any like beer stashed away?" She's like, "Yeah, I stashed a little bit for you in case you ran out."
A woman at your own heart, man.
Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, I don't want you drinking my expensive fucking Chardonnay because I won't appreciate it. I'm just drinking the I'm just drinking the Chardonnay for the buzz, you know." And she
Yeah,
just
well,
like, "Don't."
go ahead.
She's like, "Don't drink my expensive ass shit if you just like want to have a beer. Like, just I'll like, you know." Well, it's funny, man. Yeah, it's you have a good woman too, though, right, man? It seems like
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
When I
Yeah.
would, let me tell you, it was funny because we were traveling from London, Paris, and Rome, and we were there was a point where she took a glass of wine, not her part, it was a wine that she didn't really care for, but she took a few sips, and it was just so happens on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
And so I took a selection of pictures, boom, 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 where she's laughing and smiling, and you can see the red, her cheeks get
Yeah.
red, from the
Yeah.
alcohol and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just so funny. But yeah, no,
That's cool.
it's like I told Shag Dog on this last trip. I normally would buy beer along the trip,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, London, Paris, Rome, the more beer selection was in London. From that point on,
Yeah.
it was wine.
Yeah. And I like a good wine, but I think I have to be in the mood to appreciate it. Like if I'm just like feeling like I want to get a buzz and have a beer or whatever.
I
'Cause I
agree
did
with you.
accomplish a major task. Dude, one of the biggest things I had today that I thought was going to be a way bigger thing was like fixing this fridge. I'm like, are we gonna have to pull this out, rip shit out? It turns out, boom, I got a makeshift solution for now. So I'm rewarding myself for a job well done. Ha ha ha! I really didn't have to do anything.
There you go.
No, like a job well done, even though the situation was easy. It was my idea though to order a thermometer in advance that we could put in the back of the fridge because what the fridge is displaying on its digital thing is not the actual temperature in the fridge. But I can then fuck around by turning it on and off and just checking it out. I just got to check it a couple times a day. Luckily, I'm kind of like home right now, so it's just like I'll deal with it. But
What
so we
kind
just got.
of temperature fridge is it? I'm sorry.
Oh fuck! Hopefully it says it on here. It's a Maytag.
Maytag? I'm
Yeah.
surprised. Maytag brands usually, of course, they're more into washers and dryers, but
Yeah, and it still works great. It just I think that the thermostat just like I've had that happen in cars where I've had a car where the thermostat was off just a little bit, and sometimes I'd have to run the heat a little bit if the car heated up. This is an older car, but like this shit can just get temperamental. Now we just got a new dishwasher and a new oven, so we don't want to have to get a fucking because we did it ahead of the tariff shit. We also got So get this, dude. Back in 2024, in March, a company gave us a bid on a new AC unit and furnace and everything, like the whole shebang. Now, when Trump won, and it was right after the election, I called them up and just said, "Hey, can you guys still honor this from then?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they came out and they're putting everything in, and dude, this was like a fucking phenomenal deal, man. Like it would easily be double even right now today than what we paid back in November. And the guy that was high up in the company, he hadn't even heard of the tariffs. he didn't even know like that like he's like, yeah, you know, it's funny. I think these things are all made in every part in this is made in Mexico. And I was just like, yeah. And then I stopped talking about it. I'm like, shit, I don't want this guy to renege on the deal. But but he finished it. We paid and everything. But dude, we got like a brand new furnace and a brand new AC installed and everything. After the rebate we got from the state and stuff, like I don't know, about $9,000, maybe a little under that
Oh,
for
wow.
a brand new air conditioner, and they're both high efficiency. They're both like state of the art, like really nice equipment.
I just had to replace the air conditioned HVAC system, basically,
Yeah.
for the rental property I have, and it was about 5,800 just for
Okay.
just for the air condition.
Yeah, we had the furnace and the
I mean,
HVAC.
don't get me wrong; they
yeah.
have electrical heat with it, but it's
Oh,
just,
okay, yeah.
you know what I'm saying. It's just it's not like a furnace, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we had. I mean, just because it's northern Colorado, we have to have like an actual like furnace. You know.
That's what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah,
So,
like especially when if it can dip down to -20s here in the winter, -30s.
that's what I'm
But it's
saying. You know, that's why I
yeah,
was like, your deal, even though it seems high compared to mine,
yeah.
it's not that high when you start including the
Yeah.
furnace. You know.
Yeah, because a furnace is about the same as an AC, so that would have been like if you had to pay for both, like 11,600 or something like that.
Yeah,
You know, like
exactly.
it's like yeah. But you know what? This past winter though, like I don't think it got much colder than like -5 or -6. Which is still like cold. Your electric heater isn't gonna really get you through that. Like you don't want the
Yeah.
pipes to burst, everything else, but. I think we're going to rely on it less and less. Now, here's the main reason why we did it, Jam. At first, we were just going to do the AC, but
Hmm.
they're like, well, you know how they try to package the shit together. They
Well,
even they even sweetened the deal with a gift card to a steakhouse, but they said it was going to take like a couple months to get it to us, and it's been like 7 months. We haven't got it. But we actually think we got too good of a deal. They may have actually honestly like maybe even lost money on it. So we weren't going to push the gift certificate too hard, you know. Considering if anything goes wrong, they have to come fix it. Like we didn't really want to piss them off, you know, with that. But yeah, it's we're happy about it. So they're saying this might be the hottest summer ever up here in northern Colorado. And that's why. So our AC was 21 years old, dude, and it was already having some issues. And if we start trying to put that thing through the hottest summer ever on record up here, it's gonna die. And guess what, dude? There's already a shortage on AC units up here already.
oh wow.
So it could be something like, let's say your AC goes out. It could be something like it might be a month before they can get one and install it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like most of these places, like if your AC goes down or whatever, they can get a new unit in like in a day or whatever, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now it's
it's
like
like here.
it could be a month. And but you know, your supply chain over there is probably better prepared. Like Colorado, you used to not even need AC up here. I just think, you know, I won't call it climate change. I'll just say that summers are hotter than they used to be here, and now you kind of need AC. And
You know, my feeling on that is like, yeah, I know that mankind in general has an effect on global warming, but I
yeah,
just don't think it's that huge as it is for like, concrete. Concrete increases the warming. I don't care
yeah.
what you say.
No, I lived in Arizona, and they had like the heat island there, where it
You
gets
build up these streets and
yeah.
roads, and for some reason you just started loading. You know, you were saying you were talking about Colorado when it gets what
No, I'm cool.
the heat.
It was lagging too for me on your end. Your picture's lagging. I was trying to maybe I need to. It was going so good on all the earlier stuff, man.
Huh.
Let me try to hit the settings really quick and see if I can take my
Well, what were you saying
resolution
though?
down.
I mean, oh crap! What happened? I lost Jamafan. Oh, jeez. I lost him. All right, well, that happens. It happens. Turn around, lost him. Turned around and fell in love. Yeah.
What's up?
Hey,
I'm back,
there
man.
you
Sorry,
are.
I was trying to edit my settings and it fucked up. But what I was saying is that when I was living in Arizona, they talked about the heat island, the city being a heat island because of all the concrete.
Yeah.
And it really made a big difference. If you went 2-3 hours away from the city out to the middle of the desert to go camping, it'd get down to like 67 in the desert, but the city, the low was like 95
Yeah.
because it
Well, that's the
retained.
same thing when I used to drive. All right. So I lived in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and I worked in Opelika, Miami area,
Yeah,
Opelika. And when I would go back home, which is north of Tampa, when I'd go back there and then I'd head back as I was heading back to be able to go back to work and all that stuff,
yeah,
I would feel a difference, like in Palm Beach area, as you're coming down the East Coast there and getting from the country to the city. I felt
yeah,
like a 10 degree, even maybe sometimes 15-degree difference
yeah,
because it would be
yeah,
cooler. And then all of a sudden it would warm up as closer I got to the city. So,
yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I can't imagine the extremes in Arizona getting warmer as you get
Yeah.
closer to the city compared to being out further, So, I mean, that
Yeah.
must have been some extreme.
Yeah, so here in northern Colorado, we're what is called a semi-arid desert, and we're also a very elevated desert too. Like I'm even higher than Denver here, I think by a
Yeah.
couple hundred feet. So, um, because of the low elevation, even if we have a day where it's like, I think there was one day where it was 102. I remember it still got down to like 68 for the low. There was like literally almost a 40-degree difference between the high and low
Yeah.
because at
Yeah.
night it's just, I don't know if it's because the elevation, I think it's just right. Like the air is just colder and like we're not close to I don't know. We're
Hmm.
just, if you're up on a peak, you're going to be further away from all that stuff that's absorbing all the heat that we're talking about, all the
Yeah.
concrete. Like Denver, dude, it's way nicer here than it is in Denver because Denver's lower elevation. And it's also like, I want to say, dude, I think it stretches even bigger than, I'm not sure if the population's bigger than Phoenix, but it's so much concrete there. And the summers in Denver can just be awful, dude. Like what you said, you come in from another city or out in the country and instantly 10 or 15 degrees warmer, you
And
know?
Jammer fan, this is nothing new because if you remember, all right, I don't know if you ever watched it, but the movie Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, with Marilyn Monroe, I just know it's famous for her skirt being blown up and guys getting all
Right.
horny because they had no porn back then.
Right. So I don't know if you watched the movie, but the whole premise of the movie was all right, his family went off to spend
Yeah,
the summer at the river, going out of the city to
yeah,
spend the time in the country because
yeah,
it gets hot and everything like that. So he's
yeah,
in the city and it's so hot and everything like that and all that stuff. And just so happens Marilyn Monroe is in the city too and all that. All right. So, but the whole point of what I was trying to bring up was the fact it's nothing new. It's hot in the city. I mean,
yeah.
let's face it. What's his name? Jeez, what is it? David Bowie came up with well,
Yeah.
was it really David
In
Bowie
the
either?
city
Yeah,
tonight.
right.
Bum,
It's the same
bum.
thing. It was hot back in the 50s and the 60s as it
Yeah,
is now in the city.
yeah,
But the only difference
yeah,
is we have air conditions that will, control it more than
yeah.
back in the day. And I don't
True.
think there's anything different when it comes to the global warming in the sense that it's hot in the city and it's cooler in the country and so forth because there is so much more concrete being covering the earth.
Yeah,
The earth absorbs the heat and on not only that, but it's able to dissipate it more. I think in
True.
comparison to having concrete, where it just takes the heat and multiplies it.
Well, do you want to know what the liberal like comeback to that would be?
It hit me.
And I'm not extreme. I think they would say that even a 2 or 3 degree warming overall of and that doesn't sound like a lot. It's like, oh, okay, it'll be 96 instead of 93. But I think that you have these panicking scientists because crops are very finicky on how they grow, and sometimes if you go even a little bit past a certain range on certain crops, they're just saying that we might not have as much. It's not like we can't grow food, but there may be like we may have to grow more corn than wheat because corn is hardier and can withstand higher temperatures. Like the stalks on the corn actually really help it as long as it gets enough water, though. That's the thing. If it's super hot and it's dry, really nothing can grow in that environment except for like like native grasses and shit. You're kind of fucked at that point. But it's
here's the thing that I have to say to combat that is the fact that if you want to say that is global warming, but how about it's just the fact that the solar system is expanding. Supposedly, when the Big Bang happened, it's expanding. We're getting further away, or closer. I don't know which way you want to talk about it, but that
maybe
could be
both
affected
in some way,
instead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
I guess as a centrist, which doesn't really exist, right, in this environment, it doesn't matter how it happened. It just we're having like. It's just that it's happening and that, we just have to adjust our crops and adjust. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. The one thing like about Trump, I'll try to be positive about Trump here and say some things that like the status quo needed to get shaken up. China's been stealing intellectual property, fucking around with all this slave labor, doing all that. And that's why they can make Nikes for like $2 or whatever on Temu, because like they have fucking indentured slaves that have suicide nets of the factory so these people can't jump off and die. Like I mean I
what
think
bothers me about all that is what bothers me in general about all that is that we portray ourselves as believing in certain things like justice for all, equal rights, and all these wonderful things that America supposedly stands for. And then we do business with one of the worst offenders in the world when it comes to human rights.
It's because Americans got addicted to cheap, disposable shit. We got addicted to things being cheap, like certain just like stuff from Mexico.
We become a throwaway nation.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm in the middle. I was actually out at 6 a.m. this morning, chopping wood from this dead tree that we had to line the bottom of I'm putting a raised garden in, and I'm like a little bit. It was supposed to be 2 weeks ago, but I'm like, they're still playing the growing season. Like, we're going to be growing our own food. We're going to be, we're now tracking. The reason I'm actually figuring out this fridge thing is that we want to make sure it's at a safe temp because we're going to now track all our food on the computer. Like we know exactly like when did we buy this celery? I'm going to have a fucking spreadsheet saying when we bought the celery, when we need to use it by. Like, I mean, there's going to be no more waste here. I mean, I'm going to use every fucking bit. And that's just when prices go up. That's what I think there's a lot of waste in America. And if we cut it out, we could make up for a little bit of the tariffs,
I think in general, not only the tariffs, but global warming in general, because you know what?
True,
if you quit wasting the food that you're creating, you quit using the energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The energy that you take to produce the food, if you're not wasting it, then guess what? You probably end up needing less because you're wasting less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need less food. You need less of everything. What kind of beer are you drinking, man? That looked really good.
Oh, it's just still the Guinness. It's still this extra stout.
Oh, the Guinness extra stout, man.
Yeah, I just poured it into my big old mug here.
It looks good in that mug, man.
Thanks, man.
But yeah,
But here's my thing. So I did an analysis, and Julia and we don't like just buy food and chuck it in the trash can. Like we're sensitive about waste. Oh God, fuck! Every time I say, I just curse myself every time I fucking say that. Even though she is an angel, man. She's a real angel. But I did an analysis. Even with us being pretty good about waste, I would still say, because you have to count every strawberry, every lettuce leaf, whatever. I would still say we had like 20% waste overall of stuff bought, not consumed. Like maybe the leftovers got too crusty in the fridge. We bought a pizza, like we ordered a pizza and threw it in the fridge just in the box instead of putting it in Ziploc bags. It got kind of dried out. Like it's easy. It's actually pretty easy to have like something like 15 to 20% food waste if you're not paying attention to everything.
yeah. I mean, let me. To be honest, let's face it, most people will waste so much food in their fridge because they forget when they bought it, they forget when it expires and stuff like that. What's crazy is I had some bread. I turned around, threw it in the freezer because it was extra bread. I didn't expect to have it. I ended up having it, so I threw it in the freezer. Took it out of the freezer, used it. I was down to the last 2 or 3 pieces of bread.
Yeah.
And I just didn't use it. I ended up using new bread and all that stuff. But it was still sitting in the fridge because I had it in the back of the fridge. And I'm like, I need to really toss that out. And I kept telling myself I need to toss it out whenever it came time for trash pickup, because I don't like leaving food out there because it attracts
that's exactly what you want to do. You're talking about fridge guilt. You're talking about fridge guilt, Jammer. It's a thing. And I will say that, like, I'm like, okay, if I can cut all my waste, like let's say I can cut that 20% waste, that basically covers the cost of the tariffs. I think I'm not a huge fan of the tariffs, but could America like reduce their waste by 20% overall? I think pretty easily. I think 20% is a pretty easy number to hit, you know?
Well, like I said, here I am, saying, okay, it's trash or whatever. Like, all right, so I'm expecting my wife to throw it out. I don't throw it out. She doesn't throw it out. And finally, just the other day, I looked at it and I said, you know what? Tomorrow's trash day, which is today. I said, I'm throwing it out. And so I took it out. But before I threw it completely out, I looked at the expiration date on the bread because it looked good. The bread looked good and still looked edible.
Yeah.
Right? December was the expiration date. Yeah.
You sure not last year?
December of last year, it was still looking good today after I froze it and put it in the fridge.
Well, that's why I've been buying a lot of sourdough, even at the Kroger, local Kroger. Actually, I forgot you guys don't have Kroger. It's like Publix.
I have Kroger.
Oh, okay. I like Kroger sourdough because there's no crazy so sourdough is like finicky. It's like it's really microbial. That's why it tastes sour. It's good on the body. Like it's always usually a pretty clean bread. I'm not like super fond of the taste, but I will say that like my digestion, because the reason it's sour is that it's already been partially basically pre-digested. That's what a probiotic or a fermented food really is. Like
well, my whole point is the fact that I took this
that old school bread, like the regular bread from the store, you could leave it out. People have said it says it's 6 months past the expiration and it's been sitting in like a warm closet and it's fine.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, I froze it and put it in there, and there's just a couple of preservatives in it, but I'm like, okay, that's not good. I'm like, I'm sorry, the medieval people would love this bread because it never went bad.
They would. It stops people from starving. It's not a bad idea to preserve your food,
But in general, I don't care for the idea of lasting so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Granted, I froze it, so that helped with the longevity. But I get a good deal on bread, and I freeze it. I turn around and freeze the loaf.
Yeah.
I got into the habit of doing that. It doesn't bother me. I put it in the toaster and boom, boom, boom. It's fine.
You know, next time, get your fingers wet in the sink and spritz a little moisture on there. Do you do that? You spritz a tiny moisture on the frozen bread? Like spritz a little.
And what are you doing? You put it in the oven?
No, like before I put, let's say I have a toaster oven, right? Okay, I have a toaster oven.
Yeah. Well, that's a
I take,
toaster oven. It's oven.
I take a slice of frozen bread out of the freezer. I pull the little tray thing out of the toaster oven, and before I put it back in to toast it, I get my fingers wet and just lightly spritz it with some water.
Yeah.
And it seems to help steam it a little bit as it's toasting, so it's not like as freeze dried, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in that sense, I keep telling my wife I want to make our own bread. You know, I want to make.
Dude, I want to
bread.
make bread too, dude. And we just got a new oven that has a bread making, like a bread friendly feature, and you can get something called a bread stone where you can. So we're actually going to cook on like a stone in the oven. Dude, making your bread
that stone is so much nicer, especially if you throw a pizza on there. You know, boom.
Oh, and dude, making your own pizza dough, like and actually fermenting it the way, dude. The reason that fucking pizza is so good at a restaurant, dude, is that A, the dough is really good, and B, like you have to have a modern oven that can hit about at least 500. Like, dude, the outdoor pizza ovens that can do 700, 800, 900. That's how you really get those bubbles that are charred on the top, but it's all like sweet. And I mean, you can't really beat a pizza oven, but you can try. You know.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Pizza oven. Well, first of all, brick oven is really the way to go.
That is, yeah.
That's brick oven. You know,
sure.
Boom, toss it in there, boom, and that is an art in itself. Being able to know when the pizza's done.
Have you seen those guys? They flip them
bread
around
or
and they have the
whatever
pizza peel. Yeah, they're like working them. It's like, yeah, it's a hard thing. That's why I've kind of like Jammer. I've given up a bit on making pizzas at home. Like I'll make one. Like if I get one of these pizza stones, and there's a pizza feature on this oven, and you can use the broiler. You can always use the broiler to get. I may try to make one, but bread, you don't need 900 degrees. You can cook bread in a fucking regular oven.
Yeah.
So I think I may, save pizza for pizza's one of my favorite foods, which is why I'm fat, obviously.
I love pizza.
So I'm like, but I'm gonna cut back on the pizza, and I'm gonna save it for when I can go out, and I don't need to buy a pizza oven. Forever, I wanted a pizza oven, dude. I'm gonna weigh 500 fucking pounds if I get a pizza oven. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I have to limit myself too, and the most I would do is buy a bread making machine.
Yeah, you know what? And even the bread stone for your oven, as long as it's like,
yeah.
I would say you have to have like a pretty clean oven. Like, dude, our old oven, we inherited it with this house, dude. And like we had tried to clean it, but sometimes ovens just get almost an impossible amount of shit built up in there. And you would literally need to go in with some kind of like dental devices or brushes or like automatic scrub things, or use some of that. So Julia won't. Oh fuck! I left the name. Because we have pets, she won't do the. You spray this shit in your oven and you crank it to 500 and it like burns everything off.
Easy.
She doesn't. She didn't want to do that. But we have our new oven has a steam feature. You can put water in it, it'll steam the oven, and then you can wipe it down after it steams it. So we don't have to. She just. I don't want to breathe in all the chemicals either, dude. I'm like, fuck that.
I agree. I mean, what the hell?
So, but yeah, this self-clean.
I do think that in general, making your own bread would be really good. The pizza oven thing, I would love to have the pizza oven just as an extra thing. But here's the thing: if you're living in a townhome or you're living into an apartment, or that kind of thing, don't bother. It's not worth it. Don't try it.
Yeah.
Wait until you have your own standalone home where you can have your own backyard and grill and all that wonderful stuff. To where you can, that's when you have the space. Because first of all, you're not going to have the space in an apartment or a townhome, really.
Yeah.
to have all these different appliances. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
So we're in a hybrid. We're not in an apartment or a townhome. We are in a neighborhood where there were starter homes, and we actually, since we're the corner lot, we have the most generous of all the backyards. I mean, I easily have enough space. I could put a grill in or whatever out there, but it's like, you know what? It's the same thing, dude, with cooking steaks at home, man. If I can cook an okay steak at home, it's not bad. It'll be I can cook a decent steak, right?
Yeah.
I have a little I have one of those Weber, you know those like round looking Weber grills
Oh,
people
yeah,
take camping. I got a little charcoal Weber grill. I can throw some steaks on there. I can do a decent job. But you know, like Ruth Chris Steakhouse, these fucking motherfuckers that make these good steaks, and then the pizza
Yeah.
places.
Well, Ruth Chris originated here.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up because I want to bring up like a. I'm just kidding. That I didn't bring. I was trying to steal that like credit. But I will say this, Jammer. Like, you know what? If I'm gonna eat out, that's okay. You know what? Like Chinese food, steak, and pizza are like the three hardest things for me to make at home. So when I go out, I'm gonna aim for those. You know, and I'll cook.
Well, I would agree with you on the Chinese food. Definitely, Chinese food is hard to make to where it actually
Are
tastes
you a
like
good
Chinese
steak?
food.
Do you make good steaks at home?
Oh yeah, I can make a good steak at home. In fact, I was gonna try this new recipe that I was wanting to do over the weekend that I'm gonna share with you just for the fact that
All right.
I know that you are into cooking and all that stuff.
All right.
And
Cool.
that
Yeah.
is making a mushroom gravy with Guinness.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, they talk about slicing up the mushrooms and adding it and all that stuff and making a mushroom gravy with Guinness being as one of the main ingredients, and then
Yeah.
adding that basically mushroom gravy, whatever it
Yeah.
is, to the steak that you make.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Now
Guinness
this,
mushroom gravy to the steak.
yeah, like you add that on afterwards. You're not cooking
Yeah.
the steak in that. You add it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the steak purists, like there's places in New York where it's like
Oh yeah.
a 6 month wait to get in, and they won't even do anything above medium rare. If you ask for medium well or well done, they'll just kick you out of the fucking restaurant and just be
Yeah.
like, get the hell out of here. Like, in fact, there's some crazy steakhouses that even only do rare. Like they only do rare. Like, I like meat. I'm fine with medium rare. That seems to be online with the foodies. Like that seems medium rare seems to be what people usually get that are like food people.
I'm more on the medium well.
I prefer that too. I'm just saying the online like TikTok bullshit people. They're like,
And in fact, when I was at Rome, I was at a restaurant called Neapolitans, which was right across from the Parthenon.
nice,
So I'm sitting in Neapolitans and looking at the Parthenon as scenery.
badass.
And I turned around and I said to the waiter, I said, just what do you recommend? He recommended what do you recommend? I said, all right, I'll take that. And it was a steak. It was
All right.
it was cooked I said medium well. Anyway, they brought it out on a skillet that was like it was still cooking on the skillet. I mean, it was you could hear it frying
Yeah.
on the skillet, you know. And they brought it out along
Yeah.
with the asparagus and the
Yeah, you can
potatoes
still
and stuff like
yeah.
that. And so here it is. It's cooking in front of me, and by the time I'm actually eating it, it was medium well.
I've seen that. They do that. And that's actually fucking culinary perfection how they can work that out.
Yes. When you can figure it out that it's going to be medium well, because when I first saw it, I said, "Oh my God, it's not anywhere near where I want it." You know,
Yeah.
it looks rare. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I prefer like a steak with maybe the tiniest bit of juice and pinkness. That's
Yeah.
I guess you could call that just like a classic medium, but
Yeah.
medium well is okay to me. Now, the snobs of the steak world will fucking crucify you for that shit, though.
But here's the thing: medium, in the sense of medium being pink in the middle, right?
Yeah,
Medium is the ideal situation where you got just a little pink in the middle and it's seared on both sides.
But the medium rare crowd, they just want that like that bit of almost that purple little like ring in the middle. They like that. I don't like. I mean, it's kind of gross sometimes if it's like not quite done.
And let me tell you, I saw that recipe and I was wanting to try it this weekend, but I didn't get a chance to try it. I'm like, I gotta try that. I gotta get some fresh mushrooms. I need to slice them up, add it to the gravy and all that stuff. Make it medium rare. Add the Guinness. Make it me. I have a feeling that if you actually marinated the steak in Guinness. That's what I would have done. I would have took the steak and poured Guinness all over it and let it marinate like that.
So can I tell you why that's a bad idea? Because I've done it before.
Okay.
Unless it's for more than an hour, I did it overnight once.
Yeah.
It turns your steak, even though it hadn't been cooked. I had just a raw steak in the beer, right? And I didn't use like a Guinness. I used like a Pilsner. The steak was completely gray in the morning. Completely gray.
You don't want to do that. No.
So, and you know why that happened? Because the alcohol broke down the proteins and actually changed them. So marinating for an hour in alcohol can tenderize it, but marinating like for like 12 hours, it will fuck it up because it will fuck up the protein strands.
Yeah.
It'll turn it all weird.
See what my wife likes is to have red wine vinegar.
Okay.
And marinate the steak in red wine vinegar, then cook it.
Okay, but red wine vinegar doesn't really
we were talking about red wine vinegar for about 20, maybe 30 minutes at the most. And then cook along with the seasoning, cook it.
Yeah.
And she likes the flavor. She doesn't like the beef flavor per se. On my personal, I like beef flavor. I like to taste the beef.
Yeah, me too.
But I also like a little seasoning, like salt and pepper, to add to it. To accentuate the flavor of the beef.
Sure.
But when I had that steak at Neapolitan's, they were right across from the Parthenon. I had this like a little, almost like a cheesy type topping on top of the steak. That really accentuated the flavor of the beef.
Nice.
I mean, it complemented it so perfectly. And when I had that, I was like, oh my God, that's so good. When I had a little bit of each, the beef and the topping, it was like, oh my God, that tastes so good.
Yeah. Good steaks will have that. Have you ever heard of a compound butter?
Yeah. Compound butter.
They'll use that. So they chop up a bunch of herbs and garlic and onion and all this stuff, and they mix it with butter, but then they let it get like refrigerated and kind of solidify and like let it marinate for a couple days. Then you can cut some slices of that and put it on a steak and grate some cheese or something on there. And then it gives you like a little puddle of flavor. So as you're cutting into that beef, you get that fucking punch. I don't know. I think that's kind of what this. So you're going to be able to select your mushrooms, Jammer. Yeah. And I don't know if you thought about it, but the standard mushroom is white button. It's a standard supermarket mushroom. But I would say Baby Bella, Portobello, porcinis or porcini mushrooms.
I didn't even think about porcini. Yeah, that's true.
Porcini would be good. Even an oyster mushroom would be good. But we actually have a world-renowned mushroom farm out here that grows edible mushrooms, not the psychedelic kind. So we can get lion's mane. Have you ever heard of lion's mane or lobster?
Lion's mane is good, yeah.
So lobster mushrooms kind of taste like lobster, dude. So you can make like a chowder and add some like lobster mushrooms, and you're not paying the lobster prices, but you're getting the lobster flavor.
Oh yeah, that would be something else.
Yeah,
I mean, let me tell you. I mean, I just thought the fact that taking the mushroom and slicing it up, making it gravy like it's saying, I use butter anyway when I cook beef and everything like that. Sure. But to add that to it, I thought that would be really good. When I got back here and we celebrated my mother's birthday. We took her to restaurant, which is one of the oldest restaurants in Tampa.
Oh, okay.
One of the biggest in the state because it has like 15 different dining rooms.
All right.
But anyway, the Columbia restaurant has been famous for all the gangsters going to the Columbia and all that stuff. You know,
All
you
right.
talk about all the gangsters going there. Anyway, Babe Ruth went there and all that stuff. Babe Ruth used to go
Oh,
there all the time whenever he vacationed down here in Florida and everything.
yeah.
And I bought when I was there. I decided to take a chance and take a risk and buy the steak, which was
Yeah.
called the Bambino,
There, you went wrong right there. Right?
because it was the steak that Babe Ruth would order, and along came with it was stuffed
Yeah.
mushrooms
Well,
and
that sounds good.
asparagus and all that
Maybe
stuff, and
this
it
is a
was
good
really
story.
good.
That all
Yeah,
sounds good.
and they had some kind of topping on it, and it was really good. I can't. It was kind of a cheesy topping, but I know they had butter in it, and it was really good and everything. And that made me think whenever I started thinking about making cooking a steak myself, what could I
Yeah.
possibly do as a topping or a gravy and everything like that? And then I came
Yeah.
across the Guinness mushroom type gravy, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that would probably be really good. The flavor of it.
Hold that thought 1 sec. I'm grabbing another beverage, but just keep going. I can still hear you in my earpiece.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful. All right, I'm down to the end of my beer, and oh my goodness. Okay, maybe I'll do one more, and
I thought I lost you, man. I heard silence, and I thought you were gone. Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself, bro. It's
I was just
showing
going
the
to ask
little.
you.
No, you muted yourself. Shit.
I didn't mean to.
I was
Can
like,
you cover while you run to the restroom?
yeah, yeah.
All right.
I'll cover it.
I'll
Yeah,
be
for sure.
back.
That's why we do it here on. I'm just gonna do elevator music. Uh, do bop a doo, boop bop a doo, do bop a doo, boop bop a doo, boop bop boo, boop bop a doo, boop bop a doo, boop bop. But you're just tuning in. This is elevator music by Dave. We're waiting for Jammer to go to the bathroom. Do 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 do, boop bop a doo, boop ba da ba da boop ba ba da. Da 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 da. Boop ba ba doo ba boop ba ba doo. Do 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 do. I should probably start charging my phone while doing this. Ba 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 da. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, I was doing
Ooh, about to
elevator
pour
music.
another beer.
I was doing elevator music while you were gone. I would just
Oh,
like go. I was just like said. I just said I'm doing it, and I would just go daba 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 doo doo ba doo bada 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 boop boop ba doo like easy listening like elevator
oh,
music. That's
terrible.
what I did. So that's what I did when you were gone, man. It was pretty cool. I had a good time.
I, Jammer fan.
Shammer, just call me Shammer. Shag dog. Call me
I
Shammer
know.
fan. Call
Shammer
me
fan.
Shamrock fan.
I'm
Shamrock
on
fan.
my ninth Land Shark Lager and one Trail Magic.
So I'm half and half today. I had 2 beers when we first all started this morning, and then I switched to NA, and then I had 2 Guinnesses, which I'm just finishing up. But then I have a non-alcoholic Stella. I'm gonna do. I still have 4 Guinnesses left. Don't get me
Wow.
wrong. Like if you're like, hey, let's keep this train going, I can keep it
Oh
going.
no, I can't keep it going.
All right.
This will be it right here.
All right.
I hate
All
to
right.
say
Well,
it,
cheers. Like,
man. I started counting up the different countries that I've been to and all that stuff, and it's been like
yeah.
13, 14, maybe 15 countries I've been to.
Huh.
And I'm thinking to
Nice.
myself, the guy at work, he's actually going to be taking a cruise with his wife from Barcelona all the way through to France, Cannes,
Okay.
France. But he's going to stop at Croatia, Italy, all these different countries,
Yeah.
along the way. And I just started thinking to myself, you know, in general, I think people need to travel more,
Yeah. Sure.
get different perspectives, and appreciate history and different things that throughout history.
I think if you spent a year abroad and went to all the major city centers in the world, you went to you know a bunch of cities in Australia and East Asia, and then China proper, Japan, Moscow,
Mm-hmm.
South Korea, Vietnam, Africa. Like, just go everywhere in the world, spend some time. I bet if you came back to the U.S. after a year of that, it would
Yeah.
seem different to you. You would be like, whoa! It'd almost be culture shock. You would be kind of maybe shocked at how like violent and like pissed off it's gotten with the Senate. Like, because let's face it, man, there's a big gulf right now between like right and left people, like a big gulf. Like,
Well, I think in general, being able to go out and talk to other people and travel throughout that, being able to get different perspectives and everything, you might be a little more open to all the different variety of thought. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The problem with a lot of the people today is they're closed minded. They're just completely closed off to thinking, okay, so you are saying you want to do this and you're willing to go here to help out and kind of meet in the middle type attitude. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you're trying to meet in the middle on something. When you're trying to negotiate something, you try to meet in the middle. I don't get everything I want, and you don't get everything you want, but in
So
turn,
so
we
that's
get a
that
little
that
of each that makes us happy, and we're,
so you're
pleased.
talking about how it used to be. That's how an actual country is run. Now it can't be with hyper partisanship because
Yeah.
you can never be seen as helping the libs or helping the Republicans or whoever, right? Now there are some crazy people like Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, now Fetterman, I guess he's kind of gone like pretty, Fetterman from, was he from Pennsylvania? I can't remember. Um,
Uh,
but he's a gigantic guy. He's that I believe he's a senator. Maybe he's in the House. Sorry, I can't remember. But he's a big, gigantic, huge guy. He had a stroke right before he got like,
I remember hearing something like that, maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, he's kind of a defector now. He's a Democrat, but he sometimes can vote Republican. Like, they, other than those few people that are, I guess, taking up the mantle of being like someone who could be on both sides. Most of the sides are pretty much static. Like, they're just only going to vote along party lines, and they're
And that doesn't make any sense to me. If you are a person who thinks on your own, if you're a person who has a free mind and sense, and you're a politician at the same time, yes, I can see you being aware of what I think and what you think and what the other person thinks, and
sure.
somehow find a middle ground to that. You know what I mean? Trying to get there to the middle.
Yeah,
But it just boggles my mind that you just become closed minded on things. It's just like, if you
yeah,
truly are a person who wants to bring people together, then you're not going to be so closed minded to because if you're so close-minded, then you cannot see my view, which might be might be 90 degrees compared to 40 degrees over here. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, man. And also, what's not helping is that we're getting the robber barons 2.0. We're getting Rockefeller if he had robots and AI and drones. We're getting robber barons 2.0. And maybe we deserve it for not having enough things in place to stop those fuckers from just coming in and just manipulating the stock market and just like fucking everything. Although I will say, like, if you've been like investing for 20 years or 15 to 20, something like that, you're still going to be up. Like the Dow has recovered a little bit. Like the stock market's it's gone up. I mean, we have some fluctuations. It's still down a little bit, but like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's been crushed. I mean, Trump could have like inherited what was coming and then just, if he didn't say anything about tariffs at all and just like, let's focus on making America great and just like maybe just trying to create jobs instead of like, look, there's a lot of waste in the government, right? But I think that it takes a whole year to figure that out. Like, I think Doge should have taken a whole entire year to assess. Instead, it was just AI. They just asked every government employee to email into the system why they deserve to have their job. And then AI went through everything and made the decision. And I just don't know if AI is there yet all the way to just decide who we're going to fire from the government or not.
No, it's not.
You know?
As far as that goes, in general, I think that you or a president or whatever,
yeah.
In general, I mean, you can't just automatically think that if you ask this and it comes about, I guess what I'm getting at is. What was it you said there at that point where you were talking about Trump and golly, what was it? I'm losing it. You had it. You said it, and then it made me think of this. And
I lost it too. It's not just you. We just
I just personally think that yes, okay. So you say this and that and the other thing or whatever like that. But in reality, what matters, what really truly matters, and you can't dismiss it. I mean, it's like, golly.
While you're thinking of this, dude, I think one idea I had that I think I was getting towards is that we're like, all Americans should be patriots and we should all be together. And yes, we have different choices on who we want to elect. But if we're all together, if we're all patriots, that's how we purge tyranny of any kind, whether it be right or left or what the fuck ever. Like,
because you're going to select somebody who has the best interests of America citizens as a whole.
Yeah, but American citizens also have the right if somebody usurps the system. And that could have been, I mean, a lot of people criticize Joe Biden for making some very shitty, bad decisions and doing some stuff
I don't think he actually made the decisions. I think it's.
I know, like, but he wasn't a robot though. That's what Trump's like now saying, like Biden was a robot or something. I don't know about that. I don't think we're there yet.
I don't think he was a robot. I think he was just disconnected to reality.
Sure, that's fair enough, but just like don't call him don't actually say that like he was like an android from Battlestar Galactica. Like,
no, I think unfortunately that he was there and not there at different points of his time as president. I think that sometimes he was there and sometimes he wasn't. It's not anything negative to say. And here's the thing about it. I don't personally like to say it because it seems kind of mean.
Right.
But even Ronald Reagan I don't think Ronald Reagan was all there at the end. I think Nancy and the Speaker of the
Side.
House was actually making decisions. And I think that Joe Biden's wife and maybe Pelosi, maybe Schumer, were all making decisions that, because he said himself, he didn't know. He goes, I don't know what I'm signing. What is this for? You know?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I was told to sign this, you know, and all that kind of. All right, so you were told to sign this, and all, but who told you to do that? You know, you didn't
All right,
think on
sure.
your own.
So, but Joe Biden was still, just as you painted him, he wasn't really like some kind of mega threat. Like when they said the Biden crime family, the only person in the Biden family who, in my opinion, has committed a crime is Hunter Biden. And unfortunately for the Biden family, Hunter was kind of a piece of shit. He was doing shady dealings.
Let's be honest. He would have never got as far as he did in the Ukraine if it wasn't his father.
100%. But you know what, dude? In my own life, I have seen nepotism where somebody has been hired because they knew the father of the company or whatever, their dad was the fucking president. It happens everywhere, not just the White House. I don't think it counts as being the Biden crime family. Like, I don't, because like Joe Biden hasn't technically been committed.
Let's be honest about Joe Biden. He's been in the government all those years.
Sure, yeah. So you're saying he's committed a crime somewhere here and there.
He's lied about what he said. He's lied about what he wrote. He's lied about all these different things when he plagiarized people.
All right.
I'm just saying it builds to a bigger picture of a character.
Okay.
And I don't think that he was that honest.
But let's say that I'm going to be generous here. Let's say Biden. Let's say we've busted him on 1,000 lies, right? Like we have Biden dead to rights on 1,000 lies. There's a website that keeps track of Trump's lies since he was president. It's at 47,000 lies that have been like confirmed or something. So even if we're going like lies versus lies, like Trump is still. I mean, he's a contender. I mean,
here's the thing I have to say about that.
All
right. Now, if you have a website that can track the lies that every president has said, then you have to compare him to every president. And I guarantee you they're about the same on every president.
I don't know.
Because if you're in politics, you got to lie. I mean, you're the leader, and you turn around and say, let me give you the example. All right. I was traveling. I went on vacation. I was at the not Chassahowitzka. I forget what waterfall it was. But we went on a whitewater rafting event, right?
Was it Chippewa Falls?
No.
Oh, Chattanooga?
It was outside of Tennessee, and we went down through it, and it was a class 4 or 5 waterfall, basically rapid.
All right.
And whenever I went to look at it, because we pulled off to the side because we were getting to that rapid, we pulled off to the side. All the captains of the ship, which I was one of the captains, went with the leader, which was the guide. And we walked around the side where you could see the rapid. And then they explained how you want to approach the rapid, how you want to address it, how you want to try to get through it. Basically giving us the pointers and all that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And when I came back to the boat and they asked me, "Oh, what did it look like? We got this." I said, "We got this," and all that stuff. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, "We're fucked."
Yeah,
we're fucked. I lost a person before we even started. Somebody fell off the freaking boat and I had to go back and try to get him. And then there was another person that fell off, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we're screwed." And here we are going into this class 4 or 5 rapid, and I'm thinking, we're fucked. We're going to screw up, and we're going to end up being capsized and all that stuff. But what did I say as a leader? Oh, we got this. It ain't nothing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And when we went to the rapid, I told him, I said, we got to do this and we got to do that. And when we get to it, just listen to me and I'll holler it out. And I holler it out. All right, switch to the right, all that stuff. And guess what? We got through it perfectly okay. But the whole time I'm thinking, we're fucked because, this is what it looks like and this is what they're telling me. And I see what my team of people are capable of, and I'm like, I don't know if we're going to make it through this damn thing, but you know what? I'm going to give confidence where it needs confidence, and I'm going to tell them, oh, we got this. This is no problem. And like a self-fulfilling prophecy, we got through it. But if it wasn't for the fact that I was being so damn positive, do you think we would have got through it? If I came back all negative, we probably wouldn't have got through it, right?
Probably not.
Yeah. And what I'm getting at is that, in general, it doesn't matter who you are. If you are the person that they go to ask how we're doing, or do you think we can make it? And all that, if you're the one that's saying positive things, even if you're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be honest. If I say that, oh yeah, we're gonna make it and all that stuff, and though the chances are 90% of the we're not gonna make it, but we do because I say 10% we were gonna make it, and I build you up to think you can make it, and you did.
Sure.
What's worse? What's worse? The person who lied to you? Because I was lying. I truly didn't believe we were gonna make it, but we made it.
So I 100% agree with everything you said, Jammer. My problem is that Trump adds in a lot of needless lies. Like he goes like, we have 500 trade deals going. There's only like 280 something countries. Like
anything that makes him look like he's the most impressive, the most perfect individual. Anything that builds his ego, he's going to say.
But he I think sometimes he doesn't even need to lie. Like, just announce it. Just say that. Just on Monday, say that the tariffs are going to be this, and then on Friday you can change it. But he was changing it every day. Like, China bailed on the deal. Blah blah blah. We're going to do this. Like, I just think that he's needlessly. I just think that it's like chaos for chaos sake, and I guess I'm missing the art of the deal on that part of it. Like, I just think it's I can't hear you if you can hear me, buddy. I think maybe
all right. So anytime you incorporate politics into it, I think that there's an issue. Because I agree with everything you're saying. But I think every time you bring into politics, it's going to cause a rift because people are going to say whatever they're going to say to get whatever result they want to get,
Yeah. I guess I wish everybody could be like me and you, Jammer, because we disagree, but I don't want to take a gun and go shoot you.
Exactly.
Like in a civil war. Like that's
I
kind
agree
of where
with you because you know what? The thing about it is that even though we disagree on certain things, we do agree on one thing, and that I would tend to believe is that if you're American, you want the same things. You want to be free. You want the freedom of choice. You want to be able to think on your own. You don't want to be I don't know, pigeonholed or
Well, also we're friends, we're colleagues. We may disagree, but we're mature enough, I think, to still be friends and colleagues if we don't 100% agree. That used to be how it'd be. These academic people would meet and they would maybe disagree. They would debate stuff for hours. You drink brandy and you had weird wigs on. But at the end of the day, you're like, well, gentlemen, we agree on this. We don't agree on this. And it was and sometimes, you had to pull out a gat. You had to pull out a flintlock pistol and be like, I challenge your ass to a duel. If shit got crazy, sometimes it was just limited to 2 people. Yeah. And you had to just fire that shit off, that fucking flintlock. Boom.
Or just in general, you agree to disagree.
Yeah. It was more civilized back then, even though it was hundreds of years ago, which is stupid.
Yeah,
Like
which is
we should
the crazy part. Yeah,
we
hundreds
should
of
be way
years
more
ago, it was more
civilized now.
civilized.
Yeah, it was like more civilized, but they didn't have AI, and dude, AI is now manipulating all the algorithms. Like, dude, I don't think that Terminators are going to be walking the street, but I think we unleashed some fucked up shit into the world with AI and algorithms and all this stuff, dude.
Well, if you believe anything, um, the whole CERN thing, and they're talking about different dimensions and different
Hmm.
category. I mean, if you really start diving into all this different things, you
I
have
dive
to.
into that stuff. I'm a big fan of the CERN and different dimension stuff. I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
You have to
I mean,
start
I'm looking
thinking.
at your
Okay,
background right now, and that's a picture actually from the Hubble Deep Space Telescope. Those are all galaxies. Each one of those aren't stars. Each one of those little things are entire galaxies or
and that
clusters
question
of
mark
entire
there,
galaxies.
that question mark right here,
I did see that. Yeah, what is that for? What the? Just,
is part of the galaxies.
uh, okay. I did. Maybe there's just maybe they. Those photoshopped, but I'm like, I'm gonna just say it looks photoshopped, but
But
it's like a
the whole thing, like you're
perfect.
saying, it's true. I mean, let's face it. The more we think we know, the less we actually know.
Yeah,
I mean, we really think we know everything and all that stuff, and then we look back on history and think that they're a bunch
yeah,
of idiots and all that stuff. But you know what? In a lot of ways, they had it going on more than we do now. You know,
yeah.
I hate to say that because that means that we're digressing. We're becoming worse.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we are. I mean, like looking at social media and stuff, like we should be getting better, but like I don't know. Maybe you know how much it sucks to be a kid now. So
Oh, that's
we
what I'm
have
saying. That's the crazy thing, Jennifer. It's like, my God, you talk about the stress, the strain, and the problems that they have. Oh my God. I
dude,
mean,
my mom in the summer, so it's summer right now, right? She
right.
used to just be like, come back home when the fucking street lights turned back on at 9 o'clock. And we had matches and fireworks and BMX bikes. And my mom would give us a couple bucks. And I remember back then, geez, I sound like a old geezer. Safeway had their Safeway brand sodas they sold for a quarter. So you just pop a quarter in, you get a fucking soda. We just for a couple bucks, we could go to Taco
Mhm.
Bell, get soda, whatever the fuck we needed. We would just go out and she just like eat a bunch of sugar and crap. Here's a couple bucks each. And,
Mhm.
especially here. Oh, sorry.
No, no, you're going on. Go on.
No, especially here in Colorado because we're so close to Wyoming. Wyoming has like the least restrictions on like explosive fireworks like in the country.
Yeah.
Like, so our parents would just take us to Wyoming and basically, and back then we were in a rural enough area. It's now developed that the cops didn't care what we were lighting off. Now they'd probably ticket you and it'd be a big deal if you're blowing up M80s and
Mhm.
shit, like, but we were just fucking kids and like, they still had ice cream trucks back then. Like, oh, I got a buck. Do I have 50 cents? Do I have a buck for the ice cream truck, man? Now, I would never have any of my kids go near an ice cream truck. I only have one kid, but don't go near an ice cream truck. Stay the fuck away from fucking ice cream truck.
Well, ice cream
Um,
truck would cost you about $7 for an ice cream cone.
Probably, yeah. So, it was fun being a kid. I loved summer. I loved and I don't ever remember any of us getting injured. Like, I mean, we were all pretty careful with fireworks. You knew that it was
Yeah.
going to blow your fucking hand off if you didn't fucking get away from it or whatever.
And it's
And
the
I'm
crazy, the ignorant people that ruin it for everybody.
and granted, accidents happen. I'm sure there's a couple kids that lost some fingers back
Yeah.
in those days. And we most of us made it through, I guess. And I don't think it's fun to be a kid now. I mean, I have a kid and she's, like I won't say the exact age because sorry, now they have like
Yeah.
you never want to talk about your, whatever, your
Yeah.
child. But they are
I agree with you.
like they are in an era where it just seems less fun. Like everything's online, they're playing video games, like
Yeah.
there's
Well,
not
the crazy part about it is when I was growing up, and I'm going to be honest about it, when I was growing up, you had things like Mr. Microphone. which was crazy. You had walkie-talkies as a kid. That was something
That was no walkie-talkies, and those cheap ones though they gave to kids. You maybe it maybe work across your house or to
Yeah.
the neighbor's house or something, you know. But do you remember that?
Walkie-talkies.
Do you remember that scene in the movie Big where the kids lived across for each other's windows, like they were neighbors next door, and they could talk to each other. Like, how badass would that be, a kid, if your best friend lived right across from your window and you guys had walkie talkies in the 80s? You could just fucking talk. Like now, kids have cell phones and even they have all kinds of tablets. It doesn't even. You could be in China and they could still talk to you or whatever. But like,
it's not the same. It's not the same. I mean, you're on the phone. Yeah. It's different from being on a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, you're like over and out. You're like, hey, everybody, and like.
And the thing about it is, with a walkie-talkie, you were kind of on the sly. You know, you weren't where your parents could know about it. You know, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's
with with your cell phone and with all your different apps and everything. People are tracking everything you do now. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It is, yeah. Like
I'd hate to be a kid today because every little mistake could possibly be put on social media.
Yeah, or what if you got accepted to Harvard, but they found out when you were in 7th grade you used like a swear word they didn't like or something, and they cancel you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, as a kid, if you did something stupid, it was the moment. Maybe a friend saw that and thought about it and said, I'll tease you about it and all that stuff. But that was it. I mean, it wasn't like you had video proof of it and it lasted because it was on the internet for decades. Yeah. I mean, my God, how pitiful it could be to be known that you're the one that thought that something was, I don't know, masturbation was something else. I don't know, crazy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you don't know what it could bring, but now today you definitely don't know what it could bring. Back in the day, it would be done and over with. So what? You made a mistake. You did this or that. You were stupid and you look idiot. Like an idiot. Okay, all right. It was just for that moment.
It doesn't follow you around forever for the rest of your life or something. And then if you become like a canceled person, then it's like almost like being like exiled or something, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm always telling Shag Dog, I'm like, don't say that. You're gonna get us all exiled, and he's just like, well, it's like, stop. Quit saying that.
Yeah, he's pretty bold when it comes to certain stuff, isn't he?
Yeah. Sometimes he just goes on a tirade.
Yeah. I'm putting away all these beers.
That's good. It's never good if you have a woman in your life to just leave a pile of alcohol bottles out. It's just gonna like, there's nothing good that's gonna come of that.
You're talking about wanting to be preached to. And you're not even going to church,
Yeah. You better get rid of those bottles, Jammer. You better take them to the recycle or get them in the trash or get them the fuck out of there.
One of the worst things that could happen is Ring.
Oh yeah, Ring will get you. I thought you said either Rain or the movie The Ring. They watch the VHS and the girl with the fucking hair in front of her face.
Let me tell you, Ring cameras everywhere. I mean, you can't get away from it. You turn around and want to go out and just dump it in the recycle. No, you're caught on the Ring.
Actually, I think what you did is you invented a Japanese horror movie where somebody threw away a beer that had a little bit of beer. Like, they threw away a bunch of bottles that had some beer left, and it's Lace's waste. So, like, it summons the zombie, Lace's waste.
Mm-hmm. You're probably right about that.
You're like, oh, shit. So, like, sorry, I should say, this is the Stella 0.0 non-alcohol. I'm just mixing and matching today, man. I was like, just trying to stay hydrated in the heat.
Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, you
And
got
this,
it going on because you're able to get the flavor of the beer and everything like that, and every so often you can have a real beer. You know what the hell?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to because I don't know if you've heard of these awful people. They're called teetotalers, and they're just like you can never drink again, ever, 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 ever. No
Yeah,
alcohol ever, and they get really mad. They hate alcohol,
yeah,
and I think they don't, and they don't believe there's any gray area. You're either a horrible alcohol abuser or you're not drinking at all. And I think those people need to shut the fuck up and just chill the fuck out and just like
mm-hmm.
drink some water between beers, or if you want, have a fucking, you know what? And these are like way lower in calorie than normal beer because they take out. So let me see the. So this is so check this out. 59 calories
Yeah.
and 1.5 grams of protein. These are actually higher protein than the normal beers too because they keep more of the beer protein in when they like take out. So it's, believe it or not, you have Olympic level athletes now using non-alcoholic beers as their drink, like when they're done working out, because it's got like
Oh yeah,
electrolytes
I
in it.
believe it because you know when we were me and Shag Dog was in New Orleans, people from the marathon was coming out in and wanting to get a Bloody Mary
Mhm.
because it had that alcohol content and all this stuff in it. Uh, the, the protein, the mineral, you know, all this different
Yeah,
stuff in it, and instead of just hydrating, they were getting that too. You know, I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was crazy, but I see why they did it. You know,
So did you know the Radler, the German Radler, was invented for
exactly.
cyclists and marathon runners that would come in and they would mix some of that juice with the beer and then just give
Yeah,
it to you, you know, like.
yeah, exactly. Same thing.
But we're kind of at an impasse here, Jammer, because I'll probably have to charge my phone for 10 minutes before I could continue. I have the fast charger; it charges quick, but I'm at like 8%. I think, are you done? Are you? I think you're tapped,
Yeah,
right?
it's two
You're
thirty.
tapped.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed
All
here in a bit. You know,
right.
but I
That's
appreciate
cool.
you coming on, man, because it's been a while since I've been hanging out with you or talking to
Yeah,
you,
that's cool, man. Yeah,
and Shag Dog, of course. It's been a while since I've been hanging out with him, but more so with you because I don't
and we got
remember
to
when was
all
the
hang out
last time we
together and
talked
like
about.
mix and match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
time me and you talked, it was a long time ago, actually,
yeah,
because it was
maybe, yeah,
last year. I was saying something about this year possibly having to
yeah,
tap into your services, you know, that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we should just talk more in general, man. So let's do that. But
Yeah.
we don't want to keep the people's time. I think it's I
Yeah.
think it's time to sign off, man. I think you're ready. I think you're ready,
All
bro.
right. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing. I'm Jammer.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you, brother.
We'll see you on the next one. Maybe another drinking and thinking in the future. But as far as it goes, we are the Spit Swall Beer Review. That's right.
Yes.
Take care. See ya. Bye. Farewell.
Bye.